Hey guys, welcome back to Lads in Distress. So far we've established that I'm super kawaii, but also I apparently have a saving complex, so let's go save some mysterious princes. I try to refrain from fidgeting with my gown as I stare at the steady stream of people entering the ballroom. I can't help but notice that a majority of the guests are male, dressed in flashy clothes of the latest fashion to show off their wealth. Next to me, my father clears his throat loudly and lifts his glass of wine up, facing the crowd of guests. A hush falls over the room. Welcome to the Lunar Kingdom. We are very honored that all of you have traveled such a long way to join us here today for this ball held in celebration of my daughter's coming of age. We hope you will enjoy yourselves tonight. Let the ball begin! At this cue, the orchestra starts playing. Chatter resumes among the guests as they mingle among themselves. A man approaches me the instant music begins. Something tells me, just a little kindling, that this guy is Prince Zel. Your Highness. He bows and I drop a curtsy in return. As he straightens up, I take the opportunity to study him. I noticed at the start that he's extremely handsome, even compared to all the good-looking princes and dukes here. Well, at least the ball will be off to a good start. His lips curved upwards into a smile as he catches my eyes wandering over his frame. I just give an innocent half-smile in return, unfazed. He seems unamused at my response, his smile growing wider as he half bends over his outstretched hand. May I be so bold as to request his first dance, Princess Charming? My eyes fall into his silvery white hair that contrasts almost poetically with his stunning blue eyes, and recognition dawns upon me. The smooth attitude, the attractive features, the fact that this guy is dressed completely in white. He must be Prince Zel. In the back of my mind, I recall my parents' warning for me to avoid associating myself with him, but I push the little voice away. Just as I expected, he is as desperate for a marriage as I am for an alliance, as shown from his eagerness to ask me to dance. I should take this opportunity to get to know him better, and see if he needs saving. It will be my honor to dance with you, the lad in distress. I can just barely make out the figures of my parents and Nickel among the crowd. They seem to be staring in my direction, and I can practically feel their disapproving glares burning holes into my body. I pretend not to notice as I let us melt into the crowd of dancing couples. Turning my attention to the man I'm dancing with, I put on my best smile. I don't believe we've been introduced. Although, I sort of did the equivalent of social media stalking you. Oh, how rude of me. I'm Prince Zel from Snow Kingdom. Could you tell? Please forget my actions and my recherche manners. I was merely too stunned by your beauty to recall the countless lessons I've had in etiquette. My lips twitch in amusement. It seems like the rumors are correct. Prince Zel simply exudes a charisma and flirtatiousness. With that appearance along with his charm, Prince Zel is the epitome of a dangerously handsome rogue. I now understand why so many women fell victim to his flirtations despite knowing his skirt-chasing ways. You must have not had a very good teacher. I am simply appalled at the standard of teaching in Snow Kingdom. Any half-competent teacher must have prepared their students in advance for such difficult situations like this. Though I must admit it's unusual to meet a prince who is still apparently highly affected by a woman's looks when he is surrounded by beautiful ladies every day. Prince Zel flashes me a coquettish grin. But none of the ladies I encounter are half as gorgeous as you. Their beauty simply cannot measure up to yours. You're certainly as charming as they say, and I know how fucking kawaii I am. I don't need you to tell me. He gives a quick chuckle, but I can detect a slight note of anxiety in his next words. I see my reputation has preceded me. I sincerely hope it does not poison my image in your mind. I would hate to miss out on an angel because of my past sins. I can't resist shaking my head in amusement at his outrageous comments. I like this protagonist because I feel like she's a little bit more realistic. I assure you, I am no angel. I beg to differ. Tell me, did it hurt? Oh God. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? I stare at him with a straight face for a moment, holding back my giggles, but I eventually lose the battle. There is no way any lady has ever taken that kind of flattery seriously before. Believe me, that comment came from my heart. It was not meant to be a flattery, but a genuine compliment. This guy is like one of those super thirsty guys that even though he's hot, he gets to be so creepy, it just kind of cancels it out. He winks at me, a glint of humor in his eyes. Still laughing, I decide to play along. In that case, I must thank you. Nothing to thank you for, my dear princess. Has anyone ever told you that you have the most methodic laugh? It's simply music to my ears. I haven't laughed at all, though. You seem surprised. If your suitors didn't remind you every day how beautiful and fascinating you are in every way, they obviously not doing a good enough job. Well, I don't know you. I have no competition yet. Wonderful. That means I still have a chance to win your heart. I warn you that may not be an easy task. I'm too busy saving lads in distress. I'm always up for a challenge. He continues to flirt with me, making me throw my head back in laughter while leading the dance. Surprisingly, I find myself not having to fake interest and force myself to pay attention to him. Instead, I'm genuinely enjoying our conversation and warming up to him. In fact, I don't even realize that the song has come to an end until he releases me. I give him a warm smile, curtsying. He bows in return, taking my hand in his and pressing a kiss to my hand. Thank you for the dance, princess. I enjoyed myself greatly. You are as delightful and charming as your name suggests. The pleasure was all mine. You were a great dance partner. My dance teacher would be ecstatic to hear that. Is your dance teacher better than your etiquette teacher? Well, you should be the judge of that. I do believe he or she is. Give your teacher a raise in wages. He lets out an amused laugh. The next song starts, this time a more upbeat, jovial tune, and couples resume dancing around us with their new dance partners. I suppose that should not keep you any further. I'm beginning to fear that one of the men from the long line of waiting suitors spying for your attention may grow impatient and stab me with a sword. I will protect. I'm not flirting with you because I'm supposed to be saving you, and otherwise, I personally am not being charmed by this guy. Prince Zel laughs again, pressing another quick hand to the back of my hand. You're simply wonderful. Such a great conversationalist. I can't remember the last time I enjoyed simply talking to someone this much. I can see why people believe you would be a great queen when it is your time to take the throne. Thank you once again for the dance. I shall forever treasure this memory. Until next time, my dear princess. He backs away slowly, although in my eyes it seems like he just zoomed into the next frame. And in comes another one. I'm gonna say this guy must be Prince Mare. The first man to get to me bows silently and reaches out his hand. I take it, and a few of the other bachelors sigh in disappointment. The orchestra begins to play the next piece, and I look at him with a grin. Let's dance, shall we? We swirl into each other's arms, our faces getting dangerously close for the briefest of seconds. A minute passes, then another, with us simply dancing in silence. I would suspect this mysteriously quiet prince has no interest in me if not for the fact that he approached me instantly. His eyes stayed devotedly on my face the entire time. I mean, to be fair, she's really pretty, but she's not, like, having crazy cleavage or anything, so I don't know what else he'd be looking at. Maybe he's just shy and find it difficult to start conversations. So does this mean that he's just been dancing with me, like, staring at me for a long time? Because that'd be really awkward considering when you're dancing with someone, especially at a ball, you'd be, like, this close, and you guys are just... This weather we're having here. I don't believe we met. Could I have your name? Rather than responding, he uses his available hand to brush his lips before shaking his head. Oh, that's right, Prince Mare can't speak. As far as I know, the only male monarch or noble around my age who is unable to speak is... He nods. The silence unnerves me a little, but isn't bad by any means, just different. Out of the corner of my eye, I spot Nicola in the corner, watching us intensely, and I'm reminded of what he had told me about Mare beforehand. Prince Mare looks and feels mundane, but then again I'm only human, even if I'm great with magic. Or perhaps rumors are just rumors after all, even if they come from fairies. Either way, how interesting that the first two people to win my attention in time are both men I should not marry. I saw one more glance at my parents and Nicole, then giggle at their faces. Well, I'm so lucky to be face to face with Prince Mare right now. It's a perfect opportunity to interrogate him. But how do I interrogate a mute man? Prince Mare, how do you feel about black magic? I lower my voice. I hope you don't hate it. I practice it often. Apparently, I practice black magic. I wasn't aware of this. Let me just... What's going on here with my hair? Please not if you agree with my little hobby. I want a suitor who will accept me for who I am, after all. Prince Mare blanches and shakes his head. I chuckle at the expression on his face. Don't worry, I'm kidding. I've never even learned dark magic. I've always wanted to learn about curses, though. I carefully scrutinize his face, hoping it will betray fear or guilt. However, Prince Mare only continues to look confused. He's probably sitting there like, you're a fucking weirdo. I sigh and decide I should backtrack to avoid suspicion. My so-called interrogation is floundering. I may have been hoping for a bigger reaction from you. Teasing others is my greatest hobby, although today is clearly not my day. Prince Mare chuckles at my words. While I consider my options, he gently dips me down into his right arm, startling out my thoughts. The lack of conversation forces me to focus on our movements, on his proximity. When I twirl out of his embrace a moment later, I'm almost disappointed. We dance around the ballroom with vivacity, practically claiming the floor for ourselves. 1 second we are as far from each other as our outstretched but intertwined hands allow. The next second we are far closer to each other than conventions would expect. I know nothing about your personality or beliefs, but I dare say we make a great dancing team. The prince raises his eyebrows, but his lips inch up into a grin. Don't get cocky now. Dances don't have any political use. I would beg to differ considering how much conversation she's having during all of this. His shrug blends so seamlessly into her movements that I almost can't tell whether it was intentional. I whirl out of his grasp one more time as the music draws to its end. Finally, we release each other's hands. I had a really good time. The prince nods. I'd love to keep dancing with you, but I doubt anyone around us would approve. I curtsy as a farewell and prepare myself for the horde of suitors that is bound to approach me soon, but Prince Mare seizes my hand before I can utter another word. Well, he opens his mouth to speak, then shakes his head, remembering his inability. I don't think anyone that's mute would forget they can't talk, but with a sigh he lifts my hand, palm up, and uses his index finger to write in it. Thank you. I look back at him with my smile wide. No, thank you. The prince seals his words with a kiss into my palm where he walks away, letting the crowd consume him. The rest of the night passes by in a blur. I think I've danced with every single man there, as every time a song comes to an end I would get whisked away by another waiting dancing partner. My feet are positively aching by the end. I watch as the guests slowly filter out the room, laughing with rosy cheeks from the wine, and I wish nothing more than to crawl back into my warm sheets and fall asleep. Father, Mother, may I excuse myself? I'm exhausted and wish to get some rest. Of course. Relieved, I give a quick curtsy, but before I can leave, Father touches my arm and says in a low voice, Don't forget, you still have to make your choice tonight. Your mother and I will be waiting for your response tomorrow morning. I give a heavy sigh. Yes, Father, I'm aware. Good night. The next morning, I find myself standing in front of my parents nervously, fidgeting with my dress. Who have you chosen as your husband, my child? Huh. This is interesting, considering Prince Zel is a creep, Prince Mare is mute, and Prince Zel didn't even show up. I'm probably going to play all three of these at some point, but I'm going to start with Prince Mare. I decided on Prince Mare Water Kingdom. I watch as my parents inevitably clench their teeth and begin to tremble. My father's voice quivers when he finally manages to speak up. Prince Mare. You do realize his name was circled for a reason, I hope. I begin rambling to diffuse my parents' frustration as best as I can. In my defense, his kingdom is the most practical to marry into. Their nation is affluent and peaceful. It's also close enough to our own kingdom that it'll be easy to rule over both kingdoms at once from a single location. Most importantly, he has a firm grip on his nation's crown. He'll be coordinated without a doubt, and if rumors of his diplomacy are true, he will make a very fine ruler. He will indeed make a very fine ruler, but you will not be alive to see it if you marry him. Charming, you know how much we respect your decisions, obviously, and we try to give you freedom and choice whenever possible. However, you have none in this matter. You may not wed Prince Mare, and that is final. Why? Nigel told me gossip after gossip about him, but each of them was as apocryphal as the last. Speaking of Nigel, where is he? We have never invited any of the Circle Princes, but Nigel said they were necessary to pique your interest in the ball. Father continues trying to keep himself calm, but his pitch is uncharacteristically high. His voice cracks several times, and everything about him, from his hands to his voice, are still shaking. I need some water. Give me a sec. Pique your interest they did, alright. Wait. His voice was high-pitched and cracking. Pique your interest they did, alright. In the worst way possible. Father continues trying to keep himself calm, but his pitch is... Yeah. Please answer my question. What do you know about him? I trust your judgment. I trust that you wouldn't be so quick to vilify a prince without knowing something more concrete than just mere rumors. My parents nod and I stare at them in expectation. As you know, Lunar and Water Kingdoms have been loosely allied for decades. The King of Water Kingdom and I are childhood friends. I was personally there when Mare returned. I rushed my way over to Water Kingdom the week after Mare's disappearance. I hadn't felt comfortable taking anyone I loved along with me after all the whispers about curses I've been hearing, but I valued my friendship with the king too much to just stay here and let him suffer with his wife. Aside from the king and queen, who were of course in fervent denial, everyone else knew Mare was dead. We never said it out loud, but everyone thought it. But then the boy came back, alive and whole, missing his voice and memories, yes, but he was alive and perfectly whole. We were all in awe. How had he survived for 2 weeks? How had none of the thousands of men been able to find him? How had he lost his voice, his memories? I fidgeted in place as I continued to listen. Of course, despite all my wonders, I was extremely happy for both the poor boy and my friend and the kingdom itself. However, it soon became apparent that whatever had kept the boy alive had changed him, consumed him even. You may be justified in thinking I have no tangible proof. However, the boy was so kind prior to his disappearance, so gentle, so loving. That was no longer the case after his return. I saw the disgusted way he looked at everyone, the way his smiles would quickly drop and reveal murderous glares whenever his parents turned their backs. I saw the way that whenever he talked to a noble or royal, even to his parents, he clutched some dagger I'd never even seen before, as though his life depended on it. So do I have concrete evidence? No, far from it. But do I have grounds for my worries? I dare say that yes, I do. Father, we don't know what happened to him when he was gone. Exactly, and that is why you cannot marry him. Whatever happened, it's inevitable that he had to develop numerous defensive mechanisms for survival. It doesn't feel right to punish him for, putting his all into seeing his parents again. It feels right to be cautious, child. You will understand when you are a parent yourself. Don't you trust your friend? He loved your friend enough that you were willing to risk death and curses to console him. It's time to trust that your friend has continued to raise Mare well. It's time to trust that your friend respects you just as much as you respect him. It's time to trust that if Mare poses a threat to the safety of any of us, your friend would have warned you in advance. Prince Mare hasn't even been coronated yet. Your friend is still the king. If he thought Mare would harm any of us, he wouldn't have allowed him to come. My eyes bored into my father's. The stillness of mine starkly contrasts the charming of his. After a moment that seemed to stretch through hours, my father looks away with a defeated shake of his head. I suppose we can't stop you, charming. Trust me, father, I'll be fine. Prince Mare seems like a kind, wise man. I could tell all of that during our short dance together when he was mute. Remember that you still have the month-long courting period before you decide whether or not to confirm the engagement. If he does anything questionable within the time period, you must end the relationship immediately. Mother nods from beside him, grabbing her elbows for comfort. Please, charming. I can't help but be in my parents' approval. Of course, I value my life too, you know. How can I save everyone else when I'm dead? I curtsy in Prince Mare's direction as soon as I enter the room, and his face visibly lights up. I hope you haven't waited long. Are you gonna kill me? Prince Mare shakes his head as he walks towards me. You must have heard the news by now. The prince shakes his head as he hands me a decorated sheet of vellum. Oh, what's this? I accept the sheet and take a quick glance at it. The cursive writing is ornate and practiced, and despite how small it is, it fits up the entire page. I smile up at the prince, realizing it must be a letter. Thank you, that must have taken so much time. It's very thoughtful of you. Is it a ransom note? Prince Mare scratches his head before raising solely his index finger. Oh, sorry, I forgot it's harder for you to answer questions that aren't yes, no. The first one. You want me to read it right now? Seeing him nod, I shift in place, returning my gaze to his letter. Well, this should be good. Despite the length and abundance of fluff that what are hopefully sweet somethings, the overall message is quite simple and expected. He says he is honored to be chosen as a potential future husband, that he hopes he will not disappoint me. As I continue to read, a few sentences stick out and catch my attention. If only I could hold actual, genuine conversations. I suppose I could write to you, but that requires a constant source of vellum and quill. Besides, writing takes far too long, and I must depend on solid, flat surfaces that aren't always available. If only there was some magical solution to this plight. Of course, there probably is none. My chin upsurges and I grin at him. My eyes must literally sparkle. I bet I can teach you something useful for conversation, if you wanted me to. Prince Mare raises his brows hesitantly, and I gently tap his shoulder to reassure him. I resume talking again as soon as he finally nods. Well, first, I should confirm the most important thing. Would you like your voice back? It may take a while, but it'll definitely take a lot of effort, and there must be a way to return your speaking abilities. The prince shakes his head. I furrow my brow since I've been looking forward to getting to the bottom of this change, but I see no need to question his decision. In that case, how do you feel about using visual illusions? You can create temporary illusions midair of the words you want to say. The air around you will be your writing board, so to speak. Prince Mare nods, a hopeful smile brightening his face. Pleased by his reaction, I'm about to begin teaching him magic on the spot when I remember that teaching outsiders, those foreign to Lunar Kingdom, magic is not only warned against but also illegal. This prohibition is one of the many reasons Lunar Kingdom has remained the sole hub of magic, and the Lunar Kingdom's monopoly over magic and fairies is a single reason it has remained so relevant today. Even my father does not know of any magic of his own despite the decades he has spent here as a ruler. Originally a noble from a faraway nation, by law and customs he is forever barred from learning or practicing magic. Meanwhile, I'm considering teaching magic to Prince Mare, who isn't even married to me yet. Although I doubt anyone could imprison me for teaching a fellow prince a few spells, that doesn't excuse the action. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Prince Mare cocking his head as if to ask if everything's alright. I've already given Mare hope. I can't just take back my words, he's a lad in distress. Besides, teaching him magic could be really fun, and I'm excited that we'll be able to hold spontaneous, speedy conversations. Teaching outsiders magic is forbidden. Prince Mare bites his lip, looking like a dejected puppy. I wink before saying my next words. Just make sure not to use the magic I teach you when others are around, okay? And make sure never to leak any information to others. He nods and I sigh in relief. I want to teach you how to create illusions as soon as possible. How does early tomorrow morning sound? Say around 9? Prince Mare gives up 2 thumbs up and a wink, and our soft laughter fills the air. I'm so excited. I'll be looking forward to our lesson. I just need to tell Nickel to stay out of the magic room tomorrow. I can't have him walking on us while I'm trying to teach Prince Mare magic. When I turn around to leave, however, Prince Mare tugs me by my wrist. Oh, what's wrong? His eyes glaze over for a brief second, and he raises his free arm as though he wants to gesture something. Rather than going through with his plan, however, he simply shakes his head and waves me goodbye. While I'm perplexed by his actions, I say nothing. See you later. He nods at me, his expression somehow hesitant. I barge into the magic room an hour in advance. I'm probably gonna stop it here. Well, I'm probably gonna do all 3 princes, so keep an eye out for that. For now, I'm gonna stop it here. If you like this, go ahead and leave a like. If you have any suggestions for games, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear them. And if you'd like to subscribe, go ahead. I really appreciate it. I'm enjoying this game so far. I'm really eager for some actual saving, though. You guys know how I love action. But, well, we'll see once it starts picking up. And with that, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.